So bantamweights and flyweights, we don't really get seen the way lightweights get seen. You understand? But the work that we put into it is probably more than the lightweights.
You have to be a lot more technical.
We have to be more technical. We have to put more speed, more accuracy. We have to work a lot of things.
You also get hit with more punches.
We're getting hit more because why we try to bridge the gap a lot. If you look at it in a fighting aspect, we try to. If I'm fighting a taller guy, obviously I want to try to break the gap to be able to fight him. Because if you're going to keep me at his reach, I got a problem. So you have to break it down.
So do you think that like MMA, like, because from what you're telling me, you're in a pretty rough situation if others are coming at you with knives and guns.
Yeah.
Do you think MMA saved you a little bit?
It saved me a lot. I wouldn't say a little bit. I'd say a lot.
Do you want to talk about that on camera?
I don't think we should talk about that specific incident on camera, but that incident did happen. It never happened once. It happened a couple of times where I was threatened with, weapons. People don't.
Wow.
It's because of the people that I've been around, and I think that's where I had that. Where I was telling you, I had that personal problem where I had to back off for basically 2 weeks, 2 years.
Okay.
From the old fighting thing, just to settle my mind down, and so it took me time to work on. You get what I'm saying? It's like now I know, like to get into a fight, it's not going to be something like a easy fight. It's basically to the end.
It's life or death.
Yeah, it's life or death. Because I'm not going to fight someone if I know, this is an easy fight. I'm going to win this thing. It's either I'm fighting you because I know my life is at danger and I need to protect, and I'm going to do it at all costs. I'm going to do it at all costs.
That's crazy, man.
So
that's
and I believe if it was written for you to go down that way, it was written for you. Your creator wrote it. And if it's written for you to go down fighting, then you're going to go down fighting.
Are you religious?
Yeah, I'm very religious.
Muslim?
You are Muslim. So I believe that everything is written. Before we were even born, it was written that you're going to follow it. Either you follow the right path or the wrong path. And if you're going to follow the right path, was everything that's written, you have to let it come your way. Whether it's good or bad. You understand? Because we believe in a life after this. So for me, I look at everything as there's no fear because I'm one with the man. You know what I'm saying? There's no fear. I'm not scared to basically meet him. You know what I'm saying?
That's beautiful. That's like a fearlessness, man.
You have to have that. I think
It takes a lot to keep that mindset. Yeah.
It does break. It's not that it's a consistent. Sometimes you can get shattered. Like after my losses, I was finished. Because I worked a long time for this. 10 years, I've been fighting from the time I'm 7. Like karate, I started Kyokushin karate.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So I built myself up from there. Obviously, the discipline that comes with karate, I don't know, you guys probably spoke to guys you do or you guys know about karate guys.
Yeah, no, we've
got a lot of discipline.
A lot of honor.
Yeah, a lot of discipline and honor that comes from it, and a respect. It teaches you a lot of respect. Because why? You have to respect a lot of things that come. Fighting is not only, hands and legs, and there's a lot of things you have to respect. There's a lot of things, technique, you have to respect people. People also are training as long as you. You have to respect people. You can't just, what I'm saying? You can't just
think you're above someone.
Yeah, you stepping into the cage every time as good as I think I am. I also doubt myself sometimes. And, my coaches tell me that, you shouldn't doubt yourself. But that's what happens. It's only natural for you to doubt yourself,
How do you pick yourself up after a loss?
Well, for me, it's not quitting. It was a dream. This whole thing was a dream for me. It started as a passion, obviously with karate. I fought African Cups, Then I went into kickboxing.
What are the African Cups?
African Cups, it was internet. At that time, karate there was no kickboxing tournaments. There was no even MMA when I was young. I never heard, but it was grappling. I think that it was also called position grappling. It was more like a wrestling. So basically in 2010, I fought SA Kickboxing Cup. I won the SA Championship under WACO. It's called a World Association of Kickboxing Organization.
Oh,
so I won there in 2010. I was the SA champ. Then in 2011, I went again to fight for the SA champs, but unfortunately I got disqualified in that whole tournament. I got disqualified, but I did enter at that time when we
What'd you
should
get
fight.
disqualified for?
Well, the guy hit me. I got angry. I was young. I got angry, and the referee stopped the fight, and then I still carried on. And
Okay.
obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say I was a little Hulk. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'll put it like that. I was a little Hulk. If something switched me off, it switched me off at that time. So that helped me a lot because fighting helped me a lot because it calmed that. It calmed that effect of me, of fighting, of being aggressive with people, because I was that type of person. I was the short person who never want to be,
You always felt like you were
yeah,
on edge.
I was always a short person. There was always someone taller than me. You know what I'm saying? And I've always felt that, hey, this taller person, although I was fighting, I always felt, hey, I have to be able to learn some way to beat all these guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If I can't beat them, something else, fighting, at least I must be a man and be able to beat this tall guy. So for me, no matter the size was never a problem because I was always short. There was no one that was, my height at that point. And when I started at GBH, fighting MMA, there was no one my size. There was no one.
When did you start at GBH?
Now would be 10, 11 years ago. So
Wow.
I was 13 or 14 years old.
2013?
Yeah, 2013. I got my black belt also at GBH in 2013. No, so say 2012.
2012.
2012, I was with, yeah.
So it took you a year to get your black belt?
Well, I had a black belt in kickboxing and
Karate.
with another organization. So I
Okay.
regraded,
Okay,
basically.
okay.
And I regraded. Then I got my black belt with Sensei Rhyne. That was basically, the peak at that time. I was the youngest GBH for me. I was black belt, winning. I wasn't, I wasn't losing fights. So for me, I was on fire, motivated, confident, I said, right. Like you go to school, grade 8 from grade 8, you're starting to obviously pass matric. And for me, it was like that. So for that 10 years, I was grinding, winning fights, with Sensei by my side. Obviously, I was winning fights. And then it came to a point where I turned pro.
You were the amateur flyweight champ, weren't you?
Yeah, I was. I fought the Shuriken flyweight championships. I think it was a flyweight title fight. Yeah, and I won in the first round by armbar. Yeah, it was 1 minute, 26 seconds.
Eesh.
Yeah, it was by armbar. So
How long was your amateur career?
I had a good long amateur career because I went into kickboxing before that. Then I obviously won for the Naga, that grappling championships in 2011.
Oh, you did Naga as well?
I did Naga as well. I won 2011 Naga grappling championships.
Wow.
So it was basically 2010 was SA championship. 2011 was obviously Naga. 2012 I transitioned to MMA. So I'm doing this for quite a long time
man,
now
you've been
that I'm
fighting
thinking
like
about
most
it.
of your life. Eh?
Yeah, basically more than half my life
Yeah.
I've been doing, or just under half my life now.
How many combined fights do you think it is?
Altogether with my pro 3 fights, it's 25 fights in MMA. So
No.
it's
I mean Naga, kickboxing, karate.
Everything.
if I have to calculate, I never broke it up because I never thought. Back in the day, WACO wasn't something where you go fight one fight. It was the whole division. So the tournaments is a Saturday and Sunday. You're fighting Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
You understand? So if you made Saturday, you transition to semi-finals or finals. You're fighting Sunday.
And if you're injured, it's like whatever.
You pull out. It's finished. It's over. Go home.
Jeez.
Go home.
So you'd hide the injuries.
Well, I was young. I never really feel it. You know.
Yeah.
You really. It was just adrenaline. You
Yeah.
fighting. You know the technique. You winning. You know what I'm saying. So, for me, it was at that point I was just good. I was talented. It was more about how much talent I was given by my creator, obviously, because I was good, man. You know, there was nothing that you could tell me that I couldn't pick up. I could pick it up very quick. So that's why winning for me wasn't a problem. And I should practice winning a lot at that time, you know. So I knew the system, how the system worked, you know, what the referees are looking for, how many kicks should be landed in a round. And I should try to break that every fight. And that's what made me actually build myself. So experience-wise, I can't say I have a problem because I've been down the mill. So coming into pro, I wouldn't say I had a problem with experience. I wouldn't say I had a problem with my fitness. Okay, my fitness, I never have a problem with it when I moved to Joburg because I was training at the obvious climate, you know.
Yeah, the altitude.
It's different there. So I felt it also when I was training here and I fought there, and when I was training there and fought there. It is a difference. So yeah, basically it took me a long time to build myself up to where I am. I can't say it was an easy road because there was times you'd go in the shower and you just cry after camp. There's some days you can be in camp, you know, up till now I'm in camp at the moment. We go home, we are so finished. We, you know, you just feel like everything's out of you. But that's what makes us go, you know, that's what drives us to actually go and try to better the day that went by. You know, there's some days, as good as I am, I go to training, I can be out of it completely. I just survive the whole session. And then you go home and then you're like, why did I do that? You know what I'm saying? Because not every day you're at your 100%. You understand?
Yeah.
That's what you need to understand. People think fighters every day they're at their 100%. It doesn't work like that. We have to motivate ourselves basically every second in that session, every second going to that session, because we understand the pressure behind what we need to do and why we're doing this. So there's a lot of pressure.
Because for us, it seems like you're fearless, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I'm fearless in the sense where I'm not scared to fight someone. But to basically, how can I explain it? To lose what I have, my running. You get what I'm saying?
Like what you're
my
fighting for.
dream,
Yeah.
to lose my dream is that's the most thing that puts pressure on me. That's something that put the most pressure on me. That, you know, that I might be this good, but I won't get where I want to get, because, you know, nowadays in fighting, what I do see, I don't know if you guys see this, that it's not basically, so there's guys that are very good, there's guys that are good, there's guys that are talented. It's basically who you know now. It's not what
really?
you know.
Especially in South Africa.
Especially in South Africa.
Especially in South Africa.
I would like to say it's not going like that, but from the word go of me knowing, you know, being in this fighting game, it's who you know.
That's very
There's people
sad.
who made it to the top
Very
very
disappointing,
fast, and they shouldn't be there. You get what I'm saying? And there's people that are who should be there where they are. That's
They're still down below.
you know, I'm so confused because there's guys that when I was fighting were nobodies, and now they, like, you know, teachers, and you know what I mean. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The instructors, they never fought a fight in their life, and all of a sudden they're teaching a whole class.
Yeah, fair
It
enough,
makes
man.
no sense. So how can you teach us how to fight if you never fought?
I think of that more like it's like cardio MMA. So
There's no such
Yeah,
thing
you're
as
like-
no, I know there's no such thing.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is that it's like there's gyms, especially in Durban, where it's like, okay, so let me give you an example, right? I went to GBH once, and Sensei Rhyne came to me and he looked me in the face and he's like, "So you want to be a fighter?"
Yeah.
And then I was like, because I was just told to go there. I didn't know
100%.
somebody, a good friend of mine who I'm not going to mention here, but you know her as well. She just told me to go there. She's like, you just need to see what it's like. And it was so intense. It was so intense to the point of being like scary. Like it
That's
was
it.
like, this is intimidating. I don't know if I want to go back because it's like, this was like so intense. then you compare it to other places where, it's people just doing burpees, skipping rope, exercising, and it's like you get like a really great workout.
But what
But
did
you're
you get
not
out? Okay,
fighting.
besides the
Yeah.
workout, what did you get out? That's not a fight camp. The fight camp is not a camp where you go inside and it's a nice camp. It got good and beautiful bags, and that's not a camp. A camp, when you walk into a camp,
You're getting ready for war,
you seeing people actually getting ready for war, basically. There's no such thing as you go to a training camp or a training facility who trains MMA, and you go there and they're doing fitness the whole session. Or they just they're just doing something that's a specific fitness routine.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. MMA is everything. It's everything. It's stand up. It's when we train at GBH, we don't. It's not broken down. It's not basically Sensei is only going to teach you grappling. He's only going to teach you fitness. It's that one session you did everything.
Yeah.
That one session you did everything. So that's what you need to do. If you want to fight, you have to learn how to do everything all the time. That's the only way you're going to be good at doing that. You understand? So you have to be fighting all the time. You have to be grappling all the time. You have to be learning all the time. You can't just be getting fit all the time. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly. If you, like you're saying, if you're practicing your grappling like twice a week, when the fight comes, it's not going to be the same. You got to do it every
100%.
single day.
Every day you have to do
It needs to become like an instinct, like a just natural reflex.
And people, they mix it up. They say, you know what, no, I'd rather do Muay Thai because Muay Thai is, but what happens if you fight someone who is a grappler?
Yeah, it's just pure jits and he takes you
Like-
down.
Take you down
what
and
I'm
get your
saying?
neck.
Yeah.
What? Okay, if you're a grappler, what if you fight someone who's a stand-up fighter? Nowadays there's people that they're so good at both. They're so good at both that their background can be stand-up, but they're good on the floor. It can be the other way around as well.
Yeah.
So for fighting, I don't think you should break it down. If you're breaking fighting down, then I think you're gonna have a problem, especially in MMA. Fighting is something that, or MMA itself, you can't break down. You have to do it as a whole. You have to do it together. You have to do your strength. Everything has to be together. If you break it up, I don't know. Because I tried it. It's tested. I've been to other camps. It's not something that I would specifically do.
What do you mean they break it up? So it's like, okay, today we're doing wrestling, guys.
Today we're doing wrestling, guys.
Tomorrow we're doing jits.
Okay, for some people it works. I wouldn't say, because I see other camps like they bring champions out of the camps.
But then O's only show up for kickboxing day.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If you tell me today is only stand up and I only like stand up, I'm only going to show up for stand up. You get what I'm saying? So if in Sensei's classes, as soon as you enter, there's no such thing as today we do. Sometimes we don't even know what you're doing. Trust me, sometimes we're so tired. We're doing like so many things. You know what I'm saying? That's fighting. Your mind can't be set on one thing all the time.
But I get what you're saying, because like, for example, me, I have this problem where if I spend the whole day doing wrestling and then the next day, the whole day is just striking. By the time we do wrestling again,
You'll have a difference.
Yeah, because now it's rusty and I can't remember everything because I had to spend the whole day focusing on striking.
Yes.
Whereas, like you said, if I'm doing my striking, my wrestling, or my grappling, everything's happening daily, then you don't get rusty.
100%.
Everything stays in
It's
your brain.
Consistency of everything. You understand? That's what makes you good.
Yeah.
That's what makes you good at everything. You can't be only good at one thing. I don't believe in that whole thing. I don't believe in it. But I do believe that if you want to fight, you got to learn how to fight. There's no such thing as I can fight because I'm angry and I can fight. I get some people, I got some friends who tell me, I can only fight, but I have to be drunk. Or I have to be, I can only hit this guy, but you know what? Hey, we need to call someone to help us. But that's how people are. That's how people I don't get people nowadays. I don't get people nowadays. That's why I'm saying breaking it up it'll be a big problem.
Yeah.
And I bring people to GBH and I see people who actually train in other places like camps and come with me to the gym. They can do heavy weights. Bring them one maybe 30 minutes into training, they finish in
But
GBH.
also at GBH, like it's like as you say, it's everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like you guys will do a circuit where it's like, okay, I'm deadlifting a big weight here. And then I'm
100%.
punching this bag like at least over 100 times.
That's exactly what makes you fit, strong, and you see the thing is with fighting. Let me explain. You have to be strong for long. With MMA, you have to be able to be strong for a long period of time. You understand? And why I say this is because in pro, that little gap you give the guy, you get what I'm saying. That little
When you get
gap you
tired,
give,
that's
that little gap is enough for him to take the fight.
Yeah.
You understand? So you have to be able to be strong for long. So the entire duration of the fight, you shouldn't have a problem in advancing your position. You get what I'm saying? In moving, in standing up, in being back on the ground. It should be a norm for you. It should basically be a norm for you. And that's what it became from that. You know what? No matter how tired I am, no matter how finished I am, no matter anything that my mind can be out of it, that I've learned how to fight. You know what I'm saying? In that situation. So there's times like, I fought Johannes Rudolph. I
Yeah.
fought Johannes Rudolph. He had a Kimura lock on, and it was quite deep. I felt it was quite deep. There was a point in my mind that told me, you need to tap here. You need to tap here because it's either he's going to pop your arm or he's going to hit you.
Yeah.
You need to tap here. And then that split second of me not tapping is the same split second of me coming out.
Oh, when you got out of it, yeah.
I got out and it was that same time that I was telling myself to tap.
I thought it was gonna snap.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
my
no,
As he
gosh!
rolls
I thought
you,
it was
as he
gonna
rolls
did
you
feel
over, it's just in the camera. It
I
just
did
comes
feel it.
straight into view.
I did feel it. It was deep. It was actually really deep, especially when I was curled up. I was on the ground. I was curled up. I think I was in cradle position. And it was on. I felt it. That's when my hand popped out. I don't know if you saw my hand popped out. I was thinking of tapping. But once I popped that hand out, then I felt my weight actually pull a little bit.
Oh, okay.
You understand? To that.
Yeah.
Then I said, no, it's not.
Oh, wow.
It's not actually that deep. So if there'll be a point where you'll have to tire out, I felt he was not tiring out. Then, basically I managed to transition out of it. I came out, but that's the thing. As I came out, I was back on my back.
Yeah.
The weight difference was actually something it played a big part in that fight.
Like I remember, I went to training and I was by far the most unfit person there. And do you remember Sarah Ali?
Yeah.
Sarah goes to me, "Don't be scared to get tired."
That's what Sensei says all the time.
She was like, "Do
Don't
not be scared of
to
getting
get
tired."
100%.
And it was just like so trippy. But like also like I think this is in my head. I was convinced that everybody was looking at me like, "Oh, this guy's so weak. Oh no, this guy's so shitty." Oh, no. But I think it has to be in my head because
No,
you're
it's in
too
your head.
busy.
It's in your head. We too busy thinking about how we're gonna make it through the session
Yeah.
or what we need to do to actually be looking around, unless we're told to. As a black belt, probably I get like instructed to.
Because you're senpai.
Yeah, so to look at other people doing technique. So that would be understandable if I'm asked to look at someone. But when I'm in a training session and even sometimes I'm working with you and Sensei asked me about you, there's so little bit that I can tell you of that round because I was probably in my zone of what I need to do at that time. So sometimes people ask me, but Lukhmaan, why you don't tell me after? Sometimes they think I'm faulty. That I don't, sometimes they think I'm faulty that, hey, Lukhmaan, you're not telling us what's going. But it's not that. Sometimes my mind, I'm just trying to control my mind and put it on that switch, that switch to be permanently on in that whole session, that I'm so focused on doing something that I'm not really worried what you're doing. Only thing I'm worried about is you not trying to catch me with this and this. Because my mind is on that.
Yeah.
You understand? So I'm not really worried what you're doing. You really need to worry about what you're doing, because you training for your own reasons.
I think
You know?
I think a part of me needs to do it to remove the feeling of fear that I have. Because for you to progress far in life, you need to face your fear. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying, because if you're not going to do something that you're scared of doing, you're not going to basically get over it. There's no such thing that if I'm scared of fighting someone and I don't want to fight him, I'm just going to carry on being scared of him. You understand? The first step is actually going there and fighting that person.
I'm also like,
What
I have
happens
this
after
weird
that
thing. This is
happens.
this is definitely me. I have this weird thing that it's like I'm gonna go back and people are gonna be like, oh, it's 6 months. Oh, it's this guy again. Oh, he's only gonna do one day. But nobody cares. It's just in my head.
It's just in your head. It's just in your head. I can say it's just in your head because people really, if you look at people nowadays in general, they're really worried about themselves. And at training, okay, because of our brotherhood, our guys are not like that. But in other gyms, if you're talking about other gyms, I don't think it would be like, people really worrying about you. In our gym, okay, like our sensei will look at you, our seniors will look at you, just to see if you managing, not to see if he's weak or judge you. We're not those type of people. If you're gonna judge everyone, then who you? You know what I'm saying? You can't judge anyone, because as good as I am, I can be a black belt or white belt, can walk in and tap me out. You understand? So it's not about your bank. It's not your rank. It's not about your rank. It's not about your belts and all what titles you held and how many fights you fought. When you enter the gym, you empty the cup. It's your instructor that's in charge of the class, and he must do his job, and you have to do your job of being there. You understand? Our job as a fighter is showing up, training, and making the gym proud. That's our job. That's basically what we do.
Let's just go back to the original point we were talking about.
Yeah.
So I was asking you about the Johannes Rudolph fight and how you're fighting in bantamweight, even though you're flyweight, and you were explaining how throughout your whole flyweight career, you always had to do things to make weight, to gain weight.
Yeah, well, in my whole amateur career, coming up, I wasn't the person to be on weight. Like, I was 50 kilos, 52 kilos.
What is the
maximum
flyweight?
56.
56.
Yeah.
Right.
So I should bulk up with maybe supplements or eat a lot, and I'll come up to about 54. Now that 2 kilos gap, I had to put on jackets, so put something in my pockets and use shoes and weigh in.
Oh, jeez.
So I was always the light fighter, but I was always winning. It wasn't because I was stronger than him. It was because of the technique that I knew. You understand? And Sensei kept on drilling his technique that no matter how big you were, I was going to turn you. I was going to submit you, I was going to win the fight because of that man behind me. I wouldn't say it was totally on me. Okay, yeah, it comes from hard work, obviously. But for me, as a fighter, the most important person in my whole career of fighting was Sensei Ryan. You understand? So even up till now, that when I came back, I'm obviously now 3 losses in the EFC. I'm going to fight my 4th fight. I wasn't going to fight this fight if Sensei wasn't going to be in my corner. You understand?
Yeah.
Because I believe if he's there, no matter what, I'll win that fight. Because he's just on another level. That man is just on another level. So as long as I know he's there, I got this fight. But because of my first 2 fights were at different camp, and I had a problem, obviously. So that's why my weight, the thing about my weight, why I went into bantamweight, and that is
Bantamweight is now 66.
Is now 58 to 60.
58 to 60.
60, I think. Yeah, it's 58 to 60.
So, do you still struggle to make flyweight now?
No, at the moment I'm actually sitting at bantamweight.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
This is like the first one, or maybe the second or third time in my life I'm actually good at bantamweight. You know, I'm sitting at bantamweight strong, and I'm maintaining it well.
But now the thing is, people sandbag. So there'll be people who are like walking around
Now
70.
that's why I came back.
Yeah.
That's why I came to bantamweight, because Sensei said the same thing. The guys are cutting from featherweight, just above featherweight, some of them, and they're coming to bantamweight. Some of them are cutting from bantamweight or slightly above bantamweight to come to flyweight. So what happens is when they rehydrate, they're sitting heavier than, and I'm rehydrating. I'm sitting at the weight of fighting. They're sitting at probably 4 or 5 kilos heavier after the event. So it plays a big difference on the ground, because why?
Oh, definitely.
As soon as they're on top of you, you feel the difference. You know why? Although you're technical, you can come out, but they'll still put you back down there because of the weight. All you have to do is, and you'll tire out faster. Like with the Rudolph fight, I was, you know, I could feel after like 2 minutes, I'm thinking, no, man, I can't be feeling like I'm already on the third round. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I mentally had to make a decision. Do I carry on here or do I stop? Because if I carried on, I was going to get hurt. And I could, obviously now, that's not worth it. You're not fighting. You're not going to compete in a professional environment to get hurt on that level of losing your career. You get what I'm saying? I wouldn't lose my career and I could feel this man was doing damage. If he carried on, if it was going to go on with those elbows, I was going to get hurt. So for me, I looked at it like that. I said, you know what? This man is heavier. It's going to go to the second round. He's going to do the same thing. So I judged the next 2 rounds in that split second of that fight, of me quitting, obviously. And that's what killed me the most, of quitting that fight. Because quitting at that point, when I went back and I looked at the whole fight again, I was like, no, man. I couldn't have quit. Why? Why did I quit? If I just let it go a little bit more, you know, this guy would have also gassed out. Maybe the second round I would have got a better chance of coming out, better position. But, you know, you can't always hold yourself hard. If you're going to look at it and you're going to hold yourself to it, there's no moving forward. In fact, you're going to retire fast. Let me tell you, you're going to eat yourself up and you're going to retire. So fighting, I don't think you're winning or losing, you're learning. That's how I look at it. Winning or losing, you're learning. Because going in, the first fight I went, I was supposed to fight Martin from, I think they call him the top dog. Martin he's in the EFC, I think he's two wins and 1 loss. Supposed to fight him. So that was my first EFC fight, and we went there. And then obviously they never have, he got injured, so they never have a fighter for me. They stabbed him or something in his hand. He came, there was a big, report on it, that he was actually in a robbery and he was stabbed in a bus station or something. So they had no fighter for me on my debut. So now I went there to fight. I never go there. I came from Durban, you know. It's my first EFC fight, waiting my whole life for this, and now I'm here, and obviously I don't have a fight. So I went to obviously Graham, the EFC matchmaker, and I was like, you know, I'm here from Durban. Who you got? Like, who do you have that you can, you know, put them? So they offered me about 3 guys. They offered me Dylan Swanepoel from Combat Coaching. They offered me Gift Walker, which I took. And they offered me that Brazilian guy. They call him the little giant or something, the short guy, Stumpy. Yeah, I looked at him, I said I was not going to fight him. When for a debut fight, I wasn't going to fight that. You could see his experience, he's been, and he had a good record. So I said, you know what, for a debut fight, I'll just take, Gift Walker is one, I'm never fight pro. So he won his first pro fight. For me, it will be, So I went into it not knowing what Gift Walker got. I don't know if he's a stand-up fighter, if he was a grappler. I knew nothing about him. I stepped in the cage knowing nothing about Gift Walker.
So your first fight was
That was
against
my
Gift Walker?
against Gift Walker.
Oh, jeez.
So I stepped into the cage and I was like, okay, like let's see how it goes. So I shot for the takedown. He defended the takedown. Anyway, he almost got my back. I turned, I landed up in his guard, and he got a triangle choke on. It was quite deep. I tapped from that. Then after that, I tried to build my game, my ground game, But I never want to do it at bantamweight. I never, like the second that Rudolph fight, I never want to do it at bantamweight.
Do they have an EFC flyweight division?
Yeah, now they do.
Okay.
And it's actually
because
booming.
they didn't for years.
And now it's actually booming.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do see. Well, it's only booming because every bantamweight wants to cut now.
Yeah, because I mean,
You understand? Everyone wants to win a fight, so
Yeah.
they want to cut from bantamweight. They're not really, to be really honest, in EFC, the guys are not sitting at their respected weight that they should.
no, yeah.
They're basically cutting to win. That's what they're doing. So they're becoming weight bullies.
Yeah.
They're coming now to our weight and they're bullying us. Because why? We know what's going to happen as soon as they rehydrate. They're sitting back at their weight.
Because like
So-
in your, sorry to interrupt, but like in your, that Rudolph fight,
Hmm.
like obviously if you watch the sport, you know that on fight day, whatever weight the announcer says, it's not the same.
It's not the same.
And when I was watching the fight, and then like he says Rudolph's 135 pounds, and then you're 128, and I was just like, first off, that difference is huge. And then
It's
I'm
huge.
thinking it's fight day. He weighed in 135,
And he's sitting
not weighing
100%. I was sitting at 128,
Yeah.
and I still fought at 128.
He looked like he was like
he weighed in at
145,
Yeah.
147.
No, after that when I felt him on the ground, I knew this man can never be bantamweight.
Yo.
This man can never. You must know. I knew he was cutting probably from featherweight to get there, because why? As soon as this man took side control, and his chest touched my chest, I felt that pressure. I said, this man's weight can never be like this. It can. That's why. What happened in that fight is I went into defense. My mind went into defense. Instead of me trying to come out and attack, I said, yo, this is,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I have to actually make this guy get tired before I can actually, and what happened was I got stuck in a position where I was going to get hurt.
And he shot for the takedown as soon as you hit him.
You know what? He
Like,
never
as
wanted,
soon as you
to be
landed, he
honest,
didn't want a
I
piece
could
of it
feel
at
this
all.
man never want to trade with me on a stand-up
Mm.
because I was there to stand with him. No matter what, no matter who I fight, okay, yeah, I shoot for a takedown. I'm not scared to stand with him.
And he was supposedly a striker. That's what the commentators were saying.
And that's what I was waiting for, I was amped for that. I said, you know what? He's going to come in. I'm a stand-up fight. We rather bleed on a stand-up than go to the ground. That's why I normally shoot for the takedown first. So I waited it out until he shot. Then I also until I realized that, hey, this is his game plan. His game plan was now to actually
Use the weight.
put me on the ground and hold me down.
Jeez.
That's what the guys are doing. That's the only way now.
There's so much more nuance. Because the fact of the matter is that a casual is going to watch it and they're not going to know what's going on.
They're just gonna see one guy beat up another guy.
Another
but there's
guy.
so much behind it.
There is a lot behind it. And I never take the weight thing seriously until after my second loss. After my second loss, that's actually when I did take it quite seriously, because I said, you know what? Now I'm playing around with my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually playing around with my life now. I need to get actually twice as serious as I am. So that's what I started. I started putting on the weight, started eating well. My diet started getting more carbs, more, proteins. My training started getting to strength and conditioning, started going up in the week, So all those things now, that's what I'm working on my next fight. But the weight is a big thing, man. You just don't understand. It's a big thing. It's a big thing when you at that level with that pressure and that, But at training, you tell me turn an 80 kilo guy, I'll probably be able to turn an 80 kilo guy. But come a fight day, to turn that guy wasn't easy.
When you're both locked in.
Yeah.
It wasn't
prepared.
easy, that pressure, that the cameras, the people screaming, and plus I never have Sensei by my corner. For two of my actually all three fights, I never have Sensei by my corner, including the last one that I fought now out of GBH, but I had Terrell there. He's also fought
okay.
for GBH for a long time. He's a EFC, actually, they call him a EFC legend in the EFC. Fought well when he was there. So he was in my corner. So although he was there, and I know there was a brother with me,
It's not the same.
it's not the same. It's not the same. So I just needed that man. That's why that's the man I trust, man. You know
Yeah.
you can take anyone and put them in your corner and they can know everything, but it's who you trust. You can't have, it's like who's driving the vehicle. You know what I'm
And
saying?
especially in a sport like UFC where, you know, your coach, yeah, like trust is a thing in most sports, but I feel like in MMA,
It's a big
the
thing.
trust between you and your coach is on a whole different
It's a
level.
big thing. It's only he understands what you've been through, and you know
Yeah.
that's how it is.
So there's a lot more factors that come into this 3-fight.
You know, it's a very it was a very big mental game for me for the last 3 losses. Why I say that it demotivated me, yes.
Can I ask why you left the GBH camp?
You
those
see,
first 2
what
fights?
happened was I went into combat coaching. You know, men of order was Bradley Swanepoel. Bradley Swanepoel and I were the only two in SA at that time that were head to head, number one. There was no other club that had fighters that could match our levels. We were taking out, it was Panther Pride and Swat Muay Thai boys, and they were coming and we were finishing them, you know, we were beating them. So there was one point where it was only Bradley Swanepoel and I that were at that level, you know. It was both of us that was next was pro for us. There was nothing else left for us. We've been taking out the division for a long time. We've been consistently doing it too. So we fought. That's when my 2 losses. I beat Bradley Swanepoel in grappling before as a kid. And then as a kid fighting, it was only coming to the point where it was me and him. There was no one else. So he turned pro, obviously. Then for me, I felt, you know what, I'm not pro yet. So I went and I became, so it was a problem. It was a factor why I left was I felt that I wanted to be pro and Sensei wasn't putting me there fast enough at that point. But now that I'm back with Sensei, I understand why. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
So
Like there was
I
method.
left because to me my mindset was like that. I wanted to, like I said, I studied, I did everything I needed to do to be there, but I never understand why that, you know, Sensei wasn't advancing me, you know, to pro. And at that time, like I said, GBH, there was only professional. I was the only guy that wasn't like at that level, professional. From all Sensei's 2 brothers that fought, Yusuf, Abdul, Andrew, Peter Nedi, they were all pro. They all fought EFC. So I was that guy that, although I was doing well in amateur, I wanted that. You know what I'm saying? So what happened was I left. Obviously, it was my wrong. I left. I went, I got my pro license. I started looking for other clubs to try to bridge that gap, you know, to try to see, is it what is this thing the truth? Like, am I feeling like Sensei is the real deal, or I can go get this from somewhere else? You know what I'm saying? Until I realized that you can't get what I got from anywhere else. I went everywhere. I seen everyone fight. I've been in wrestling camps. It's just you never get it. It's something different. His style is so different.
So he almost knew what you needed.
What I need.
And
He
at
knew-
that time,
it's like
you
he-
weren't like convinced because you wanted more.
It's like, how can I explain? It's like how, okay, if you have a kid, you grow the kid up, and then you know exactly what he needs, what he doesn't need. You know where he's gonna, what he needs to further himself. Now for me, since he was like a father figure to me, you know what I mean. So up till now, I look at Sensei as like a father to me. You understand? Because I've been with him from the time I'm a kid. So that whole 11 years, Sensei Ryan knew me. You understand? He's been there for me. So leaving him was something that I regretted. I did regret it at that time, but I needed that. I believe I did need that. Why? To actually realize what I do need to fight. You understand? What I do need to be winning. And that's him. At the moment, I believe that actually for me to be winning at the moment, I've been winning with him 20 fights and consistent.
Yeah.
One after the other, we're fighting, we're winning, we were fighting, we win. And it's not like I'm fighting and the fight is going to 3 rounds. We're beating the guy in the first round, in the second round. So by submission, TKO, it was so quick wins, you know what I'm saying? But you have to realize behind those wins, it was who was there. You understand? And that's what I failed. Well, obviously, I was coming,
Would
growing
you
up.
call that
growing
pride?
Up. I would say it's pride. No, I wouldn't say it's pride. I would say it's ignorance. Ignorance, not knowing. Am I right? Yeah, ignorance, not knowing. You think that's the way. You know what I'm saying? Until you realize it's not the way. So I believe everything is written, like I told you in the beginning, everything is written. So it was written for me to obviously go down a different route to learn. So I learned my lesson. I'm back. I'm stronger than I was before. I'm more focused than I was before. I got my shit in order. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the main thing I needed. To be back on the winning mindset, I needed to get that in order. I needed to do that.
It's like a journey.
It's like a journey.
Okay.
So I believe if I never do that, up till now I would have still had that same mindset. And I wouldn't be winning.
That's interesting, man. Yeah.
So we are about to run out of time.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you, going into this new training camp with your old sensei, back at the gym, are there any kind of like lasting words you want to leave with us? Is there any promo you'd like to do for this upcoming fight?
Yeah, I would like to tell everyone that I would be fighting on the 13th of July. I'm in camp at the moment. Yes, I'm working hard. I'm going to train very hard for this fight. I know I got Sensai Ryan and the whole GBH team behind me. And I'm guaranteeing a good performance in this fight coming up. I'm guaranteeing the EFC flyweight division is going to really see the true Lukhmaan and the true problem they're going to face. That's really what I wanted to say. That if they think I'm scared, I'm not scared for this one. Yeah, definitely. My mind is here. I got them. And they should worry.
Awesome, man. Just want to quickly ask, do you have any advice for like guys who are on the amateur scene and they want to get to EFC and they're about to go pro, and obviously they don't know the difference in levels, and obviously someone who's been there, do you have any advice for the guys that's coming up as well?
Look, I would like to, they would need to basically just learn how to pace themselves, The pressure is obviously more, the intensity is high. So going from amateur to pro, I think going there, you have to be very calm, very relaxed. You can't be going there with that same amateur mindset. You are professional now. You have to go in with a professional mindset. And that's the difference. An amateur mindset and a professional mindset is two different.
Oh, yeah.
So that's basically the advice I can get. Try to be more professional in what you're doing. It'll be much easier there. You wouldn't have a problem. So if you think professional, if you think like a professional, if you do things like a professional, I don't think you'll have a problem.
All right.
That's great, man.
Thank you so much, Lukhmaan.
Thank you.
We really appreciate having you on our screens. This was an amazing podcast right here. I feel like there's going to be a lot of people who are both training and want to be fighters who are going to learn a lot from this really insightful story. Oh, yeah. Like and subscribe. Check out the next one.
Woo!